Microsoft PowerPoint window and its components. So simulan natin dito sa Quick Access Toolbar. So sa Quick Access Toolbar, nagko-contain ito ng mga most commonly used commands sa Microsoft PowerPoint. Ang default nito, ang makikita natin ay yung save, redo, undo, saka view from the start button. Pero pwede na din natin yung i-customize. I-click nyo na ito tapos checkan nyo yung mga gusto nyo lumabas sa Quick Access Toolbar. Sunod naman ay yung title bar. Sa title bar naman, naglalaman to na yung pangalan ng software na ginagamit natin at yung title ng project na ginagawa natin. So, halimbawa dito, PowerPoint yung software natin. Tapos ito yung pangalan ng presentation na ginagawa natin. Ito din yung default name kapag gumagawa tayo ng panibagong presentation sa Microsoft PowerPoint. Kasama natin sa title bar yung minimize, maximize, saka exit button. Sunod naman ay yung mga tabs. So, ito, lahat yan, mga tabs yan. Pag nag-click tayo ng tab, lalabas yung iba't ibang sets ng tools sa tinatawag nilang ribbon. So, yung ribbon, siya yung nagko-contain sa lahat ng tabs sa lahat ng tools. So, halimbawa, nag-click tayo ng home tab, lalabas yung home ribbon. So, yung mga tools sa ribbon ay naka-organize sa group. Halimbawa, dito sa home tab, meron tayong clipboard groups, slides groups, path groups, and so on. Tapos, yung ibang group, kung mapapansin nyo, meron gantong bagay. So, ito yung dialog box launcher. Mga additional tools lang yan na hindi nagkasya dun sa allotted space para dun sa group na yon. So, yun. Check nyo na lang din. To recap, meron tayong mga tabs. At pag nilink na tayong tab, lalabas yung iba't ibang sets ng tools sa tinatawag nilang ribbon. At yung mga tools ay naka-organize sa group. At yung ibang group ay merong dialog box launcher. So, sunod naman ay itong slide pane. So, laman nito yung active o yung current slide sa presentation natin. Dito din tayo nag-edit ng mga slides natin. Tapos yung nasa gilid naman, itong mga parang thumbnails na ito naman yung slide tab. So, pinapakita dito yung presentation natin in form of outline. Ginagamit din to para mas ma-organize saka mas ma-develop yung mga content ng presentation natin. Tapos, sunod naman ay itong note pane. So, dito naman pwede maglagay yung presenter ng mga reference notes o kaya mga key points para matandaan niya yung mga sasabihin niya habang nag-present. So, pwede niya i-print ito o kaya pwede niyang gamitin itong presenter view. Pag ginamit niya ito, ang lalabas sa projector, halimbawa, ay yung mismong slide lang niya. Pero, sa screen ng laptop niya o kaya kung anong device na ginagamit niya, lalabas naman yung mga note na nilagay niya. Sunod naman itong view area. Gaya ng anong ini-imply ng pangalan, ginagamit to para magpalipat-lipat sa iba't ibang PowerPoint view. So, halimbawa, gusto nyo makita yung mga slides na nakasort, click nyo lang to, yan. So, yun. Pwede din yung reading view, tapos pwede nyo din simulan yung slideshow. So, katabi naman ito yung zoom slider. So, ginagamit na ito para ma-zoom in o kaya ma-zoom out yung slide pane natin. Tapos, ang huli ay yung status bar. So, sa status bar naman, nagko-contain ito ng mga information about sa presentation natin. So, halimbawa, nandito yung total numbers ng slides saka yung current slide na in-edit natin. Nandito din yung current theme na ginagamit natin tapos yung language na ginagamit. Pwede din natin i-edit to. I-right click lang to tapos checkan nyo yung mga gusto nyo lumabas sa status bar. Balikan naman natin yung mga tabs at ano yung mga gamit nito. Simulan natin dito sa home tab. So, yung home tab, andito yung mga common tasks na ginagawa natin sa PowerPoint. Gaya na lang ng pagpapalit ng font, pagpapalit ng format ng mga paragraphs, paglalagay ng bullets at numbers, at iba pa. Dito naman sa Insert tab, ginagamit to para maglagay ng iba't ibang feature sa presentation natin. Halimbawa na lang yung paglalagay ng table, paglalagay ng mga pictures, pwede din tayong maglagay ng audio tapos video, tapos pwede din tayong maglagay ng links. So, itong mga link na to, napakahalaga nito lalo na kung ang gagawin natin ay non-linear presentation. Sunod naman na itong design. Ginagamit ito para mapalitan ang design ng presentation natin. So, meron dito mga iba't ibang theme. Pwede tayong pumili dito. Kaya pwede din tayong magkuha mula sa internet o kaya mula sa mga files natin. So, yun. Dito din sa design tab, pwede natin palitan yung size ng mga slides natin at yung background natin. So, sunod naman ay transition tab. Ginagamit naman to para makontrol natin yung visual effect kapag naglilipat ng slide. Pwede tayong pumili dito ng iba't ibang transition effect. Dito din sa tab na to natin pwedeng kontrolin yung timing at kung paanong paraan lilipat yung mga slide. Pwedeng on click o kaya magbigay tayo ng allotted time para lumipat yung mga slide. Sunod naman yung animation. So, ang pinagkaiba ng transition sa animation ay Yung transition, kinokontrol yung visual effect between slides. Habang yung animation naman, kinokontrol yung visual effect between objects on the slide. So, sa Microsoft PowerPoint naman, meron tayong 4 na animation. Yung entrance, emphasis, exit, saka motion path. Yung entrance, kung paano mag-a-appear yung mga objects sa slide natin. Yung emphasis naman, galing sa word na emphasis, kung paano natin mas mabibigyan pansin yung object. Pwede natin palakihin, paikutin, o kaya underline, ganun. Tapos yung exit naman, galing sa word na exit, kung paano lalabas sa slide natin. Yung motion path naman, kinokontrol naman ito kung yung mga movement ng object sa slides natin. Kapag maglalagay pala tayo ng animation, mas maganda lagi nakabukas ang animation pane. So, para mas natatrack natin kung ano yung mga animation na nilagay natin sa slide natin. Halimbawa, lagyan natin ito ng animation ng appear. Yan, lalabas dito. Ang pag-play ng animation dito sa animation pane is from top to bottom. Kung ano mas nasa taas, yun ang mas mauunang i-play. Sunod na may slideshow tab. Andito naman yung iba't ibang options sa pag-present natin ng slideshow. So, pwede natin simulan sa simula o kaya sa current slide lang natin. Tapos, pwede din natin i-record yung timing. So, magsasariling play na lang yung presentation natin na nakabase dun sa timing na ginawa natin. Andito din yung presenter view. Yung review tab naman, ginagamit naman para ma-check natin yung spelling, tapos maglagay ng comment, tapos ma-check na din yung accessibility natin. Sunod naman ay yung View tab. Ginagamit naman to para makita natin yung presentation sa iba't ibang format. Pwede din natin ilabas dito yung guidelines, yan yung mga guidelines tapos yung ruler para mas maging symmetrical yung slides natin. At ang huli ay ang Help tab. Kung ang gamit nyo ay Microsoft PowerPoint 2010 o kaya mas mababa pa, itong symbol na ito, makita nyo na andito siya. Ang purpose pa rin naman nito hanggang ngayon ay isa pa lang din. Pinapakita nito yung mga command o kaya mga feature na might na hinahanap mo dun sa version na yan. Pwede din natin magbigay tayong feedback o kaya i-contact yung mga developer. So, yun lang po.
Presentations are used in a variety of settings. It can be used for academic, professional, or extracurricular purposes. There are 2 types of presentation, the linear and non-linear presentation. Linear presentation. A linear presentation is kind of basic narrative arc. It has a beginning, middle, and end. Slides are shown in predetermined order. It is designed to be presented in sequential manner. Slides that jump out of the sequence are not allowed. This type of presentation is more formal, and this is the common type of presentation. Non-linear presentation. Non-linear presentation is a non-sequential presentation where the people's participation is needed. Slides can be accessed in any order. This type of presentation gives the presenters the ability to jump over slides depending on what information is relevant in a certain situation. This type of presentation is more creative and interactive than the linear presentation. In addition, the advantages of linear presentations are predictable. Every audience will see exactly the same presentation. And it is also easy for another person to do the presentation should the author be unavailable, as the presentation always runs in the same order. The disadvantages of linear presentations naman po ay not very interactive with the audience. They cannot change the order of presentation, not flexible in terms of changing the time taken to do the presentation. For instance, a presentation planned for 1 hour may now need to be done in half an hour. This is not simple in a linear presentation. Linear presentation can be boring as the audience may have to view slides that happen to be irrelevant to them. While the advantages of non-linear presentations are slides can be accessed in any order, user can go both forward and backwards through the slides should they want to view a particular slide again. Improved interactivity. Non-linear allows the presenter to invisibly skip slides should they want to. For instance, the points covered in the next slide may now be irrelevant following a dialogue with the audience. Nonlinear presentations disadvantages are harder to prepare a set of handouts, more complicated than simple linear presentation, harder to hand over the presentation for someone else to do.
In making nonlinear presentation, there are two features that you can use: the hyperlink and the action button. These two allows the users or the presenters to advance from one slide to another in the presentation when they click on the predetermined word, shape, or image. These also allow more dynamic and interactive experience than can be obtained with serial presentation of slides alone. What is hyperlink? Hyperlink is an electronic link providing direct access from one distinctively marked place in a hypertext or hypermedia document to another in the same or different documents. Using hyperlink, you can connect from one slide to another or custom show, web page, or a file. For an instance, if you are talking about a video or a particular website in your presentation and you want to jump or go to that particular place, hyperlink is what you need. Hyperlinks can be text, image, or object. What is action button? Action buttons are built-in button shapes you can add to a presentation and set to link to another slide, play a sound, or perform another action. Action button can be triggered by clicking or moving over the button. Just like hyperlink, action button can also do many things in your presentation. Inserting hyperlinks. Adding hyperlinks to your presentation can help readers quickly access contact information or information from the web. Additionally, hyperlinks in the form of action buttons are useful for navigating your slideshow. Now, here are the steps on inserting hyperlinks. First, you have to select a text or image you want to make a hyperlink. Then right-click the selected text or image and click Hyperlink. The Insert Hyperlink dialog box will open. You can also get to do this dialog box from the Insert tab by clicking Hyperlink. If you selected a text, the words will appear in the text display field at the top. You can change this text if you want. Then, type the address you want to link to the address field. Lastly, click OK. The text or image you selected will now be the hyperlink to the web address you entered. Inserting action button. Another tool you can use to connect to a web page, file, email address, or a slide is called an action button. You can insert action buttons on one slide at a time. Or you can insert an action button that will show up on every slide. The second option can be useful if you want every slide to link back to a specific slide, like title page, table of contents, or menu. Now, how can we insert action button on our slide? First, click the Insert tab. Click the Shapes command in the illustration group, and a drop-down menu will appear with the action buttons located at the bottom. Then select your desired action button. Insert the button onto the slide by clicking the desired location, and Action Settings dialog will appear. Now, select the mouse click or mouse over tab Selecting mouse click tab means the action button will perform its action only when clicked. Selecting the mouse over tab will make the action button perform its action when you move the mouse over it. Next, in the action on click section, select Hyperlink to, then click the drop-down arrow and choose an option from the menu. Lastly, check the play sound box if you want a sound to play when the action button is clicked. Select a sound from the drop-down menu, or select other sound to use a sound file on your computer. Then press OK. Now, you have an action button on your slide.
How to use PowerPoint effectively. Use the following tips when making your next PowerPoint to ensure you will be able to deliver a good presentation. When making a PowerPoint, make sure to have a simple and consistent design template. When slides have consistency, they can do a better job of building a connection with your audience. Use a good content. A good content will result to a good presentation. Limit one idea per slide. By doing this, it will be easier for the audience to understand your presentation. Simplify and limit the number of words on the screen. This will help to enhance the readability of your presentation and will help your audience to avoid confusion. A good outline of what you are going to say. This will give you a sense of direction for your presentation. Be consistent with the look and feel of your presentation. By doing this, your presentation will look more professional. Use color well. By using color to your advantage, you can strengthen your message and make it easier to understand. This translates to a more effective presentation that won't leave your audience confused. Limit bullets and text. The proper use of bullets and text will create a balance between the visual and text elements of your PowerPoint presentation. They will help in making slides visually appealing and add a dimension of design into the text, all while conveying the same message as a lengthy, text-heavy slide but in fewer words. Use appropriate fonts and sizes. Fonts help separate one type of content from another. It also enhances the perceived tone of a presentation. So, in order to have a readable and effective presentation, it is important to use the appropriate fonts for your audience. Use good quality images that reinforce your message. By using the appropriate image for your presentation, you will be able to save time because pictures help people understand something quickly at a glance. And also, images help you catch the attention of your audience. Appropriate graphs when necessary, rather than charts or words. Appropriate use of graphs is one way to enhance the message and information or data in your PowerPoint presentation, and it makes it easier for the audience to understand your presentation. Things to avoid. These are the things you should avoid in creating a PowerPoint presentation. Long block of text or paragraphs. Putting many text on a single slide is a cardinal sin when it comes to PowerPoint. Too much text or paragraph is hard to read and it can be discouraging to read for the audience. Clip art. With the wide availability of photos, using clip art is seen as outdated and will cause the audience to think less of you as a presenter. So, use picture instead of clip art for your PowerPoint presentation. Presenting the conclusion as the headline title. Slides headlines are the first thing your audience sees. If you already present the conclusion in your headline, the content of your slide will become meaningless. Shortcuts. To make the construction of a presentation easier, Microsoft inserts some shortcuts to make the most common actions of the user faster to be accessed. Control key plus N key, or Control N, for creating a new presentation. If you want to open an existing presentation document, type Ctrl O. Ctrl key plus S key or Ctrl S is for saving your presentation. F12 key or Alt key plus F2 key is for save as. Save as is a function similar to save, but it allows you to specify the name and location of the file you are saving. If you want to close your presentation, type Ctrl W or Ctrl F4. And if you want to save and close your presentation, type Ctrl Q. Ctrl Z is for undo. And if you want to access the hotkey, type Alt F1. Ctrl Shift M is for inserting a new slide in your presentation. And if you want to duplicate the current slide, type Ctrl Shift D. Ctrl A is for selecting all text in your presentation. Ctrl E is for center text within a box. Ctrl R is for right align text within a box. And on the other hand, Ctrl L is for left align text within a box. If you want to make text smaller, type Ctrl Shift less than. On the other hand, to make text bigger, type Ctrl Shift greater than. And if you want to copy the formatting, type Ctrl Shift C and Ctrl Shift B to paste the formatting. If you want to copy and paste shape, type Ctrl Shift and drag the shape, or type Ctrl D. If you want to group items together, type Ctrl G. And on the other hand, to ungroup items, type Ctrl Shift G. That's all, thank you.